What's happening, folks? This is Kaiser Pineapple. So it's Thursday, Friday Eve. We're almost ready for the weekend. I know I am. If I can stop hitting my microphone stand. So, all right. Tuesday was a bit of a wash there, wasn't it, as far as the stream went? Let's say that was, yeah. Hey, well, good news is it's Thursday. Get some model work done. Maybe do some more painting. And we're just going to kind of hang out and whatnot and see how things roll. To be completely honest, Saturday I am looking forward to a lot. I've got my D&D stream my D&D game that I'm running with a bunch of guys that I go back a long way with. Looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Not gonna lie, it's been a week. I'm exhausted. Saying it's not even over yet. It's the worst part. Yeah, well, we're close though. So, all right. So tonight, I've still got some minis to work on. I got to do some finish work to this guy and to the couple that I've started here on the stream over the last week. So try and get a little bit more work done on these. Have them ready for Saturday. But yeah, I figured I would take a little bit of a break, just kind of do something a little bit different. So today we're working on doing a little assembly on this guy. Yeah, I got a model. Yeah, probably right about the middle of the pandemic. I'm gonna say I was looking for something to do, and I managed to get my hands on the Supernatural Impala. So I've already got a little bit of assembly done. So here's the main body shell. It's just in black plastic. It's not painted or anything. That's going to come later. Got the interior panel all glued together and all that. That was done quite a while back. But yeah, I got quite a bit of assembly to go on here. So something to do. All right. So might as well go ahead and trade on over because I'm just kind of relaxing tonight, chilling out, just seeing what happens. So I've also noticed a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Nah, forget it. I haven't had enough of this yet. So let's get rolling. All right. So we got to work with here. Got a little bit already started, as I mentioned. So I think the body shell we're going to just move out of the way for now, unless it's otherwise needed. Oh, hey, it's Valhalla. Oh, sweet. So yeah, this is actually the Supernatural Impala. So 67 Chevy Impala sport sedan, 4-door. Yeah, seeing how this kind of works. It's been one of those I've been dying to build for a while. I got started on it and I just kind of petered out. Unfortunately, it was one of those where I think that I stopped building on it right about the time that my kid was born, and he's almost 2 now. So if that gives you any idea how long this has been in my inventory. So I got to take stock of my parts here, figure out what I've got, figure out where I am on this, because like I said, it's been about 2 years since I even touched this thing. Oh. So I completely missed the Vices show today. Unfortunately, it was one of those where I just kind of got sucked into doing a whole bunch of work stuff and just kind of trying to close out a whole bunch before we get close to end of year. So I was pretty well out and done. Was not exactly able to get on the stream and participate the way I wanted to. But yeah, I can always catch. The good news is I can catch it on the replay. All right. Let's see. We got a radiator here, and already got the wheels and the hood chopped out. So that's the hood. And oh yeah, I got the frame, most of it. So I think that was what I was working on last before I got kind of backtracked here. So there's the wheels and the engine block. And yep, all 4 wheels with the correct rims for the show. I think they were Kruger rims or something. I'm only a car nut where it concerns like pop culture cars or something like that. I could tell you quite a bit about various movie cars, but as far as as far as much goes in automotive, I'm not exactly that much use. I mean, I can do a little bit here and there, change my oil, change a tire, all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I usually try and steer clear of the too technical stuff. All right, so looking here, it looks like I had started a little bit of the interior there. So the gauge cluster, okay. So this is kind of what I'm working with. I mean, I got pretty much all this assembled except for the gauge cluster and steering column and all that. Which to do all the proper detail and everything for, I'm going to hold back on that. Because I've got some fancy schmancy water slide decals and all the interior stuff I can do on this. So grab the body here. Let's see. I've actually got quite a bit going on as far as this is concerned. Yeah, I started basically putting together the components so that way, yeah, engine just sits down in there. So that way when I can actually get to the painting part of the whole operation, I can just do all the painting pretty well, just concentrate on that before I do final assembly. I'm going to be interested to see how this comes out as far as the finished product with the paint's concerned, because I have never had to use gloss paint before. And I'm going to be doing some gloss on this to try and get it to get that proper sheen. So, where are we at on this? Let me consult my manual for the engine. Okay, so upper radiator hose. Okay, so it looks like I had started on the upper and lower radiator hoses. I'm gonna put the chrome bits back in here because we're not using those. Nice, got a half-built Chevy Nova Pro stock in the closet. Starting to. Oh, that sounds like a fun one. I do love the Chevy Nova. To me personally, I mean, from my aesthetic point of view, however you want to put that, I say the 72, um, Chevelle, Nova, and Impala were very much, my jam as far as Chevrolets go. Uh, all three were basically the same body style, just three different sizes, and I I do like those cars. My uncle actually had a 71 Chevelle with the 454 cowl induction, and that thing screamed. I tell you what, and I say that thing. I've seen the guy do some pretty awesome stuff with that. He did a lot of like racing stuff and home built cars, all kinds of crazy stuff he was into. He was way more the gearhead than I'll ever be. So yeah, he actually passed away about 5 years ago. He's long gone. Said the only car of his that he ever built that is still left in the family is a 55 Chevrolet wagon. It's the handyman style wagon, but he did that thing up, dropped a 396 in it, and oh yeah, did all the custom work, fixed up the motor. And I wish I had a picture of it. The thing is badass looking. Used to own a 68 350 with a badass paint job. Oh man, you are you're well ahead of me. I say the unfortunately I never really had the I never really caught the gearhead gene until I actually was over 30. So yeah, unfortunately I did not have it at the right time. I would have loved to have something like that. I think the most, I think probably the easiest car I ever had to work on, and probably the most fun one that I ever had, was a 2001 Chevrolet Tracker. It was the 2-door with the cloth top. I basically called it a poor man's Jeep. That's pretty much what it was. It was a poor man's Jeep. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, same here with my Tracker. I regret selling that one. I sold it because I needed something that could get a little bit better daily driver miles. And hey, this thing was really good on the. It's like this thing was really good off road, but as far as interstate driving, which unfortunately I had to do a lot of, well, put it this way, you'd get about 55, 65 on the highway, and that thing felt like it was going to fly apart. But on the trails, though, that thing would just go. You say had that nice low torque or high torque, but low. Ah, fuck it. I'm not even. I'm gonna not even gonna try. I'm no car guy. All right. Oh, never too late. Yep, I agree. Trust me, if a opportunity ever arose, my son is definitely turning into quite the builder. He loves to build stuff with blocks, Legos, whatever he can get his hands on. And I was talking to my wife tonight, sitting down in the living room, just watching him just go to town on a set of big old Legos. And I said, whatever I got to do to keep him building stuff and keep that brain engaged, I am fully committed to making sure that happens. She kind of laughed, and said, yeah, I'm right there with you. So he's at that age where he's starting to look at stuff and try and figure out how it works, which some days is really good. Others, for mom and dad especially, it's a bit of a pain. Okay, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, and I don't know why this thought didn't occur to me before I get too far into this engine, I especially want to make sure that I get pictures of the engine bay of the actual car engine from the show, because I know it actually exists, and I know what I do know what the 350 does look like here. Or I can't remember. Did the Supernatural car have a 454 or 396? I don't know. It was a 68, so I don't think it was before the 454's time, but whatever. But yeah, I was definitely a kid, grew up with Legos and all that kind of stuff, and I enjoyed it a lot. I was a big sci-fi nerd, just like my dad growing up. So one of the one of the best gifts they ever gave me was this bucket of Legos, and I just made like ships and stuff like that with it. I never really got into the sets. That was the odd thing. I never got into sets. Okay, so get my nippers here. All right, I'm gonna finally do something instead of sitting around here. If I can stop dropping things, I swear I have the worst butterfingers. Not gonna lie, I am definitely looking forward to this weekend when I've got that D&D game lined up. I say it's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of in a weird place right now with the game where I'm trying to get my players to a position where they're going to have some interesting times ahead. I can say that much. The current idea that I'm working with is that am I putting this thing in the right direction? Yeah, I am. Okay. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Okay. I got to be smarter than the model kit. Okay. Yep, and that just kind of sits in there. Probably sits in there a little bit better whenever I have the. Probably would sit in there a little bit better when the engine's in and say, I'm not trying to put that all together right now. I'm more or less just setting everything where it needs to be. When I was a Legos kid, I liked the Pirate and Medieval and later the Old West sets. Yeah, those sound fun. I never got into those, but yeah, I always had the buckets and I was always creating spaceships and stuff because my dad, you know, is and always has been a Trekkie. And yeah, he definitely grew up with the old school Trek, and I kind of grew up with it as well. And yeah, I gotta be honest, I kind of got the bug. But yeah, whenever it came to sci-fi, I was always building ships and all kinds of stuff like that, all the time, trying to come up with new things. And what in the world? Okay, I think I have. I think these go. These are the hubs for wheels. I wonder if I have even less to do on this model before painting than even I thought I did. Well, son of a gun, I think I do. yeah, these, what I'm seeing here are supposed to fit back for tires. All right. Okay. Huh. Well, strangely enough, I'm actually at the stage where I need to be doing some of the interior paint work and actually doing parts paint before I can even work on assembly right now. So, son of a gun. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay, so essentially what we're looking at here is if there's anything for me to do, there's nothing I can do right now because I have to get this thing into the paint booth. And my paint booth, if you want to call it that, is currently down on the floor underneath the camera under my desk and in pieces. I mean, the compressor's already set up and everything like that because I do still use it sometimes for minis, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to work on this tonight like I thought I was. Wow, 3 days of setup and I completely botched that one. Oh, man. Well, thank God I always come with a backup plan. So, I'm going to put him down on the side. So, well, since I'm not going to be able to paint on that one tonight, I guess I'll get painting on these guys because I've got to get these finished. Yep, lesson learned. All right. And see, the hardest part is that whenever I started setting everything up, and you know, so this is kind of the typical brain kind of setup here. So even though I use acrylics, I really still need to keep this place pretty well ventilated for a lot of reasons. And the vent and everything like that it's a pain to set up and whatnot. I'm working on a more permanent setup so that way I can basically just lift it up from underneath the desk, plop it down, click it on, and then everything's good to go. I mean, have the hose already pre-run so I can literally just pop it into a socket on the window and be done with it. Because I have an air conditioning unit with my computer and this setup and everything else, all the other electronics in my office. It's one of those where it gets warm in here, so having an air conditioner on standby is a pretty easy way to keep the climate a little bit more livable. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and flip the camera back down and get to work on these guys. I'll grab my paint tray real quick. All right. Cheers. So, I know I need to do the base on this one. There are a couple of spots that are a little bit raised. This was not a very good print. It was kind of meant to be more or less a test print of my dad's printer at the time. It came out remarkably well, but there's still some blemishes and whatnot. It's not perfect. Did you do the Masonic haunted houses in Rockford or any movies with Travis Legg? Um, Actually, no. I'm not familiar with it with Travis Legg, and I'm probably gonna kick myself for that because I'm a bit of a movie buff. But I mean, I did. I mean, I spent a little time in Rockford here and there, but I really say, yeah, I think usually around Halloween and fall and stuff, I was usually spending time as much as I could anyway. Back down and you know here in Indiana, where I'm originally from, anyway. Say fall's always been kind of a weird time of year for us and our family anyway, just because of all the extra family events and this and that we got going on. But yeah, I'm interested to see some more about those though, and find out a little bit. And say I'm always looking for like for new movies and stuff like that. Say I actually found is one of my favorite genres that it kind of gets overlooked is like the Hong Kong action movies of like the early 90s, late 80s. Those were special. Especially some of like John Woo's golden period, as it's called. Now, look, I mean, I know. Say whatever you want to about John Woo. I mean, the guy has a style. He's he's not one of those filmmakers you go to for deep, existential type of you know drama or anything like that. But one thing he does do extremely well is doves and action. And I gotta say, probably one of my hands down favorite movies from John Woo is Hard Boiled, and it was actually the last one that he. It was actually one of the last ones of that time period. I think it might have even been the last one that he made before moving to America and starting to do movies here. It was either that one or I don't think it was Bullet to the Head. I don't think it was that one. That's kind of one it's a rare movie. I've only found one place that I can actually find that movie for sale. And even then, the guy that actually made it, that is selling it, had to actually find a 35 millimeter film print on like eBay for $50, and he's like a film enthusiast, and he's actually doing a restoration in 4K of the original 35 millimeter work print. I've seen some of the little bits of that he's shown of this, and it's pretty fantastic. Let me actually, while I'm thinking about it, because this is actually something I'm really interested in and I do love a lot. Where's it at? There we are. So I'm going to go ahead and flip screens here. So yeah, this is Hong Kong Rescue. This guy does some pretty amazing stuff. So he gets these old movies and stuff like that, and restores them, to pristine quality. And some of these you cannot get in the United States like, at all. I mean, especially Hard Boiled. I mean, the only versions of it, there was a Dragon Dynasty release like years and years and years ago that it was pretty meh, but I mean, it at least got you there. That's the version that I currently own. Um, there was a Blu-ray version that was made in Spain that was released. I mean, you could still find it online and stuff like that, but it was really just more or less like a upscale DVD scan blown up to Blu-ray quality. So it doesn't look that great. Sound is awful, and it's not there's not really a level of care like this guy puts into his stuff. And yeah, so yeah, Hard Boiled, The Killer, both some of my absolute favorites. Drunken Master. If you have never seen this movie, it is absolutely hysterically funny. I love it. It was actually one of Jackie Chan's first, and it was kind of their attempt at a kung fu comedy. I love this movie, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful comedy. Yeah, there's a little bit of the kind of region specific, type of humor involved, but for the most part, it's it's actually really, really fantastic. It's actually one I shown to multiple people, like friends and family and whatnot. And they kind of laughed at me at first, like, "What the heck are you doing, showing me, this?" But yeah, Jackie Chan from Master Good. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And say the sequel, Return of Drunken Master or Drunken Master 2, whatever you find it under, it's found under multiple names. It is good. Don't get me wrong, it is good. I don't think that they really captured the spirit of the original, though, unfortunately, but I do love it. It is a very special movie in its own right. I'm kind of adjusting my microphone here, so there we are. I've kind of been tweaking a few little things here and whatnot, trying to figure out how best to set up audio, because I'm going to need to have like to be able to run setups that I can switch pretty quickly. So haven't quite pulled the trigger on the equipment yet, just because I want to make sure we actually have some interest in the audience first before I start doing too much crazy stuff. Excuse me. All right. So this guy looking good. And what I'm going to do here, since I've got that all set up the way I want to, all of his gear and everything, I really want to go ahead and kind of help some of these details pop. So we're going to go ahead and do a dark wash on this. So get a couple of drops of the black wash. And I don't want this particular wash to be super dark, at least not yet. I'll probably go over it with a few more spots and just kind of darken it up later. Where is my dropper? Yeah, there's one of them. So I'll get just a little bit of water here. Okay, just diluting it a little bit. There's a fighter, Manual Augustus, I think, that actually fought in the Drunken Master style in boxing in like the 90s or 2000s fights. Good to watch. Yes, I've heard of that, and I think I saw a couple of them on YouTube, and oh yeah, you kind of start watching, and you're like, oh yeah, I know what I see in there. I was never a big fighting tournament watcher, but I did catch those on YouTube, and I was not disappointed. I'll say that. All right, getting a nice little coat of black wash here. What we're going to do is just let those let that dark color kind of sink into more of the crevices and the kind of the detailed areas, kind of make those edges pop a little bit more. So the good thing is that thanks to gravity, you really don't have to do a whole lot here. You just basically kind of dab. If you catch any spots where it starts to pool, especially on the bottom, you can kind of blot that and pick up some of the excess. Or if you find any place where it's starting to really pool up too much, you can always kind of touch those up, and so that way you don't end up with areas where it just looks like it got like a whole lot of you know a whole lot of this dark water just kind of stuck on there. I used to fight wrestling BJJ Muay Thai years ago though. Well, that's cool. I never got into fighting sports and combat sports, martial arts, that kind of thing, but I will admit that as I've gotten a little bit older, I've taken a bit more of an interest than I had when in my younger years. Okay, let's set them off the side to dry. So actually, it's time for this guy Murphy to get his dark wash as well. That sticky tack just does not want to stick on that. There we go. I'm trying not to get too much on the bunny slippers just because I want those to kind of really stand out. I think that's what he was hoping for too. So try not to let it pool up too much. It's also why I did a coating of matte gloss. It was like matte finish on the outside. There we go. Leave that there. Okay. And I think that's going to be good for now. All right. So now we're on back to Arthur, his character. Okay. A little bit of that reactive green in there. Actually, I think I might need just a nudge more, but I don't think I need much. Because, the undershirt has the green on it. The vest is red. There's a couple little standout spots that I need to touch up with that, though. Getting deep into those little crevices on this miniature here. All right. Now that that's on there, pull up the side screen so I can see that one again. It has the picture that I'm going with, or that I'm working with here. All right. So I got that there just as a point of reference. Okay. All right. Yep. I see right where the cutoff between the green and the red is now. It's a little easier to see like this. So the hardest part about doing this is I'm trying to talk and do commentary and try and stay somewhat interesting while I'm trying to concentrate on painting. And I gotta be honest, it is a bit of a trick, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it. I'm having fun, don't get me wrong. I actually do enjoy this a lot, but I am still getting the hang of trying to balance the commentary versus what I'm doing. And I'm going to adjust my earphones off just slightly there. Okay. You know, not looking too bad. Okay. That green is starting to dry. I can start doing the brown of the belt, maybe. No? Look at those shoulders again. Yeah. I see an area I totally missed. There we go. Yeah, I kept noticing that something about where those shoulders were just did not seem right. Now I figured why. Because I was missing a good chunk of the sleeves. Well, it's a vest, so there's not really sleeves, but you know what I mean. Got that filled in. All right. Get that wash. All right. Time for some brown. And I actually want to go a little darker, this shade of brown, because they're a bit more of a faded look. Nope. That's not quite good. All right, I think I'm gonna have to mix some up. Speaking of which, I also need to get this out. This is my pearlized black, and I have a very specific piece in mind that I need to paint with that. The only thing I do not like about pearlized paints like this is that they take forever to properly get shaken up and properly distributed. I'm trying not to hold that right next to the microphone while I shake. I don't need much more than a drop. There we go. That's a very, very small piece. There we go. That nice pearlized black. So the reason I'm going with a pearl black on the sword is in the D&D game that we're running. The character himself, he actually stole a legendary sword from a particularly not so good guy. And that sword comes with some certain drawbacks. One of which being that it's slowly but surely trying to gain control of my brother's character, and it is extremely evil. But it's also the sword itself in D&D lore is known as Black Razor, and say Black Razor is a particularly old D&D item. It was a sentient sword and could do all manner of horrible, awful, no good, very bad things. And he just happened to steal it from the one guy that it actually belonged to, and now the guy wants it back. Doing a little brush preservative on this, trying to save my bristles. And say that this is an older brush anyway, and it's definitely starting to show its age. The tip is kind of starting to get a little bent. There, it's a little bit better view of it. The tip bristles are getting a little bent there. Trying to see if I can kind of add enough preservative to this so they can straighten out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The preservative is kind of almost like a wax and a cleaner, as well as a preservating agent. Oil helps get the life back in the brushes. You can just wash it out. It's really easy. I love this stuff. If you do anything with brushes, this is really good. And it's cheap. It's like $4 for a big old puck that size, and that will last you quite a long time. All right. I can touch more of that up later as I need to. All right. Let's see if there's any in this thing. Yeah, still got quite a bit. Oh. What is that exactly? The brush preserver? Yeah, it's kind of a like I was mentioning there, it's a basically to help keep your brushes from drying out and getting all basically just cracking bristles, and they get frayed and stuff like that over time. Okay. I think that was what you meant. I'm not entirely sure. I hope I hope I got that. So this paint has not been opened up in quite a while, so I gotta get in there and dig some gunk out. Yeah, no idea what brand. Where do I find it? Okay. Um, Yes. So I mean, it's literally just called the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. Um, this stuff I got it on Amazon. It's like $4, like I said, for a pretty good sized puck like that, and it'll take a long time to go through it. So, uh, original B&J Specialty Prepared is the brand. So yeah, cleans oil, paint, watercolor, acrylics, stains, all the stuff that you could possibly want with it, and it is fantastic. Love it. I think I've about got all this cleared out of the nozzle. We'll see anyway. We can try and punch that back down as well, just to be on the safe side. Nope. Kind of had a feeling. Use a needle here, try and get down in there. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, well, we're gonna go here. All right, brother White's getting hungry. Time to go make dinner. Keep it up, man. I dig your content. Thanks, Valhalla. You have a great night, and yeah, definitely gotta get that wife fed. I know what you mean. Say I do all the cooking in my house too. Actually, had to got to whip out some new cooking methods on my cast iron tonight. So you have a good night, and as long as people keep coming to check it out, I'll keep making it. Say, just got to try and keep getting more people to come watch. But you have a good night, man. There we go. And try and clear as much of that out as I can. Where is there it is. I guess I got a few more minutes, dog duty. Yep. All right. I'm gonna try and force clean this out. This is just a large 20 milliliter syringe. This is actually this is a blunt tip that you can get these on Amazon, but yeah, basically this is good for they are designed to be used for like aromatherapy creating, or also can be used for refilling printer ink cartridges. Not what I would ever use them for. I mean, they're fantastic for getting liquids or material or whatever back into hard to reach places for models. There we go. Kind of blast this out a little bit. Gotta figure out where that blockage is. Yeah, made a little mess, but it's just water. All right, clean up my little bit of water spillage there. All right, well, no idea if that 100% fixed it or not, but oh, I see movement. Not much, but movement. Eh, so at least get me started anyway. I can fix the rest of that later. All right. Let me actually go ahead and add just a very, very small amount of that dark wash. Try and make this brown a little bit darker and a little bit easier to manipulate. Yeah. There are varying uh, schools of thought on how you do this. I pretty much do everything kind of as I see it. I don't particularly worry about if everything's going to 100% work or not, because I mean, I can always go back and fix things later if I need to. I'm not really worried about all that stuff. So, all right, a little bit here. Oh yeah, that came out really nice. I'm gonna bring this forward just a smidge so that way it'll be a little easier for me to get some action shots. All right. Yep. Trying to get everything around the leather straps without actually getting the leather straps on the boots. Because those I'm going to go in later and do a slightly different shade on. And then got to do the buckles. So that's good there. That base coat of brown that I put on here really did make it very easy. So even if it's not the final color that I wanted, it at least established a good base for me to kind of build off of. A little more than I needed. All right, go. All right. Got around that edge. And bingo, bango. I got those boots nicely colored the way I want. All right. Now on the gun stock, I'm going to give it just a little bit of a slightly lighter tone. We're going to do a little more dry brush on this than anything. I don't want it to darken up a lot. I just kind of want to bring out some extra color in what I've got here. Yep. Coming along nicely. Keep wanting to get into the other brown for some reason. Okay. All right. Okay. Get back into that refractive green a little bit here. Looks like there's a spot that I kind of missed. Yeah, he's got a bandana around his neck, so not as much neck showing as I originally expected, I guess. I'm gonna need to change my paint out. Wash water. All right. So those are looking very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and get some bright neon green. All right. Go ahead and do just a little bit on those goggle lenses. The thing is, you don't need very much at all. I mean, it's just like very, very small. And that's one lens. And two. Just a tiny little bit more volume. There we go. Yeah, I got the little green lenses up there. So I'll do a little bit more with those, kind of make them pop a little bit more. But so far, he's coming along pretty well. So the skin tone shows up on camera a little bit darker than it is. I mean, it's pretty much, I would say it's almost my skin tone. I know I'm white as a ghost anyway, but yeah, whatever. All right. While he's drying over here, let's check on the progress for this. Okay, looking good. Looks like I'll definitely need to go in and touch up on the bunny slippers a little bit just to make them a little bit more pink looking. But yeah, definitely got the dirty kind of definition I was looking for there on that. I also want to hit this particular model or mini with a little bit of brown wash. The character, he's supposed to be kind of a bum that just happens to be with the party. So he's the party's wizard. He's also a bit of a street bum. That kind of, you know, disheveled kind of look. Come on, stick. There we go. Okay. There's just a double-sided tape holding in place. That's pretty smart. Actually, one better than double-sided tape. It's plain old sticky tack. So I usually just kind of use like a little bit of sticky tack. I mean, I got a whole brick of it. And I just happen to have an old pill bottle lying around. So I just kind of put it on there and then just affix them. Makes for kind of an impromptu handhold to work on this while this particular little doodad is, in use. That's a second guess. Yep. Sometimes the simplest solution is often the best. There we go. So he's gonna he's got that nice little brown wash going, so he's gonna dry for a bit. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Okay. Still got some areas that need drying, but I think he's mostly done. All right, so as soon as he's done drying, I can go ahead and reattach the sword. All right. So that just means I really got to do the belts on this guy, and that's just about it. I still got plenty of that that modified brown, so I'll just use some of that. Try and thin some of that out of there. I've really got to figure out a better camera stand or system or something like that for this. I do have, as I mentioned in my Amazon, um, cart, basically waiting for the right time, a little setup apparatus that'll actually hang directly from the shelf directly above my desk. It'll hang down, so that way I can just do everything hands free and don't have to worry about having a tripod on my desk. That and working on having a second camera if that's at all possible. I've got a loaner that my brother's going to loan me whenever I pick him up on or pick it up from him on Saturday. So then hopefully I can have two cameras, one actually on my face and actually on this. Notice most people do an over the shoulder from above angle. Yes. So I am working on that, and it's one of those where time and money constraints are the thing, especially money constraints given the current state of economic affairs. But we're not going into that. the sideburns just a touch. There's definitely some areas I'm going to have to definitely go back in and do more on the skin tone, but otherwise, not too bad. I see there's some area here on the back of the receiver for the rifle that I'm going to need to get in there and do. There's an air bubble in there. It made it look like there's a lot more that came out than actually did. You know? Okay. There's a spot. It looks like it just got a little bit. Some other thing color. Pants there. Alright, fix that. Okay. So still looking pretty basic right now, but it is definitely a good start. I need to get in here and do some detail work. There's some buckles. There's a few, things of that nature. Excuse me. That I'm going to get in there and get with a kind of a what you call it, more of a brass to a gold look. For brass, it kind of depends on if I want to go with like a very bright brass, which I use this kind of old gold look, or if I want to go with kind of darkened brass, I'll use bronze. There we go. All right. Got some on my fingers there. All right. And while that's drying, I'm pretty much just drinking this stuff until it's gone. All right. So, unfortunately, right now, I mean, I've got a handful of minis that I'm not really ready to start yet. I got a couple of these guys, some Warforged from Nozzlers. Say they're pretty awesome. You can say if you're a fan of Eberron in D&D, I love Warforged. They're kind of a really interesting race that just provides a kind of an odd change to the environment and like what races are available to play. Adds an interesting dynamic to the game. But currently, there's not a whole lot more for me to do on this end. And I'm like I said, there's not anything more I'm really wanting to start right now. And these all are going to need to dry probably overnight before I do any more on them. So at this point, I think I'm pretty well just going to wrap up the stream for the night and see how things kind of go. I mean, I don't have anything more really planned for the rest of this week and possibly the weekend. I'm kind of looking at some options there, see what's going on. But right now, I think I'm probably just going to stick to the Tuesday and Thursday upload schedule, at least for the time being. We'll see how things go. Given kind of the performance on some of these, I think I might be interested in doing some pre-recorded content. Say there's a few things that I would need to nail down on that to make that work, but nothing too crazy. Other than that, though, focus, camera, focus. All right. All right. So, yeah, we're sitting at about an hour 20 right now. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here for the night. And I say, Valhalla, thanks for stopping by. Say, anybody that's catching this on the replay, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And hey, if you want to check out my content, definitely check on us, Tuesdays and Thursdays for the time being. And also feel free to hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever I'm, planning to stream. Let's say, keep it going, man. Found the shorts gets in front of people and you'll get subs that way. I've actually been considering that, and I think I've got a few ideas, maybe some little tricks and things that I've kind of come up with for doing some paint and whatnot. Also, just shoot like, 1 or 2 seconds of looking at a mini and then just the various stages as it gets going through the process. So there's definitely some potential there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. Just a 60-second promo for the channel. Yeah, that actually makes sense. But all right. Cheers. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. I'm going to, jump on the old computer, play some Elite Dangerous or something like that until time to go to bed. And then tomorrow I've got a full day of D&D prep because I'm a giant procrastinator. Cheers, folks.